Hey everyone, it's Ronnie here with another how-to CCB video. And today what I'm going to be covering is how to manage the process queue notifications that you receive via email for any ministries, events, or any other processes in which you have been assigned as either a manager or leader. So let's go ahead and jump right in. And I've already got one set up here for us that we can take a look at. So this is what you'll typically receive as a notification from the church when somebody ticks a box on the connection card or signs up on a kiosk or an event or responds to something basically, and again, in which you have been assigned. And so in this case, the church has sent me this notification that I've been assigned someone in the first time giver postcard follow-up process queue. And so if I click on that, it gives me a nice little message here and is informing me that the following individuals have been placed in this follow-up queue, which I manage and has been assigned to me by the church. So if I click on the button here, it'll allow me now to log in to CCB and manage the names in that process. So I'm going to go ahead and log in here real quick and walk you through that. Okay, and as soon as you log in, you'll see that it automatically dumps me into the process queue. So this again is the first time giver postcard follow-up process queue in which I am an assigned manager, and all of the names of the individuals that fall within that in this process rather will fall in this tab here under where it says people. So in this case it looks like we have Mickey Mouse on our list, who is given for the first time. And so what I'm going to do is set up Mickey Mouse to be sent a nice little thank you postcard for their generous first-time gift to the church, and then when I get done, I will mark him as done in this process so that he's taken off the list, and then I can go on and manage the next person on the list if there was one. And again, this can be used, we use these process queues for all kinds of different administrative processes, and in particular even events and functions that the church is sponsoring, so that we can sort of manage the individuals and the names on the list to stay on top of follow-up. So if this, for example, was a queue for some type of a men's event or a women's event or a student's event or some other type of church-wide event, that the church was sponsoring or putting on, they would similarly fall into a similar list, and we could go through and manage each individual as we made contact. So in this case, if I were to click on the name, it would take me to their personal profile. And the idea here, again, if this was a follow-up queue, would be for me to make a call or email to them and reach out to acknowledge that we have received their interest in the event or the ministry that they've expressed an interest in. And if I was able to reach them, then obviously I would talk to them and I could walk them through the next steps in the process. And then when I got done, again, go back to the queue and then simply change their status to done, and then I would move on to the next person, and I'll show you how to do that momentarily. But let's say I was following up with Mickey here, and I wasn't able to reach him. So you'll notice there's a little notes box here, and that's simply a text field where we can put in real quick notes to ourselves to let us know what the outcome was of that particular follow-up. So let's say in this case I called and no answer, and so I simply left a message. And so that way, the next time I follow up with Mickey, then I can see what was done. If I talk to their spouse or one of their children, I could indicate it here and left them a message to have them get back to me or something. And then you'd simply, oops, looks like that was cut off there, but you'd simply click this button that says add this note, and it would put it into the notes list here so that you can see historically, the date and the time at which all of the notes were left, so that you could follow up appropriately. And this works really well, especially if you're working with a partner. Then if you're not the one that makes the next follow-up call, then they can see what was done and what needs to be done next. Again, in this case, this is a giver follow-up card that the church sends, as just, again, part of our systems and stewardship process. So there really isn't any need for me to, put anything in here. I just put that in there so that I could give you an example if you were processing, say, a follow-up on some type of event or other ministry that required some type of communication. And then once you're done with that individual and you're satisfied, with the follow-up process, and you simply tick the box next to their name, you click the other actions button, and then you can change their status. In this case to, if we were waiting, let's say in the case where you weren't able to reach them and you just left them a message, you can change them to waiting, perform the action, and then now next time the next person comes in, they can see that, we're still waiting for some type of response. Or you could change it to in process. Let's say they responded affirmatively, but said they needed to talk to their spouse about something and pray about it and would get back to you, but you did reach them, then you might be able to change them in process. And again, it just gives us a real quick and easy look at the status of that individual just by the color of the status box. And then likewise, if they're in fact you've satisfactorily communicated with them, and really there isn't anything more to follow up with them on, then you simply again tick their box and then you click the button here, mark as done, and the system automatically marks when it was completed, and you simply click again mark as done to confirm, and they leave your queue and you move on to the next name. So that's how you utilize the process queue follow-up in CCB. And again, this is a useful process for anything from, again, ministry events to church-wide events, or any specific events that the church sponsors, in which again you've been assigned and are in charge of managing. If you have any further questions on this or any other processes in CCB for that matter, feel free to give me a call. And/or send me an email, as that's usually the best way to reach me during the day. All right, I hope this was some help to you, and I will talk to you on the next video.